Look alive, Muireann. Last stretch. You're nearly there. You're nearly home.
Oh my God, you're hanging me out to dry. How could you?
We're going to go to professional next. For anyone that visits Bray, whether on your holidays or for a morning swim, you may have spotted a swan sanctuary along the harbour.
Yeah, Derek is in Bray this morning to find out more about one of the world's largest flying birds.
Indeed. Derek, how are you getting on?
Flying
Absolutely. We're hanging on. We're nearly home and dry, guys. Anyway, I kind of feel like Derek Doolittle down here because we're live from the Swan Sanctuary here in the harbour down in County Wicklow, right across the moat, surrounded by the most beautiful herd of swans. That's a new one on me, Pierce.
Yeah, that's right. People always think it's going to be something like a prickle of hedgehogs or a gaggle of geese, but yeah, a herd of swans is the right term for this. And this herd can be as many as 150, but it's about 60 swans at the moment.
Anyway, Pierce Stokes is a wildlife first responder. You're with us here this morning. First up, tell us about the sanctuary here itself, Pierce.
So it's about 2008, I think it started here. Pete Wedderburn, the famous vet, he helped with a great kind of community group that take care of the swans. And now, and you met a few of them earlier on today, but Marcia and Lisa and the gang, they take care of these swans, feed them every day, make sure they get the best of food. And if anything happens to them, if they have an accident, a crash or something like that, they need help, they come straight down to Kildare Wildlife Rescue and we give them the help that they need, give them a bit of recuperation, a nice stay, and then they come back up here.
We normally have about 160 swans down here.
About
right?
150 swans, yeah, will be the kind of upper limit. Depends on the time of year. This time of year there's about 60 swans. They'll start to pair up and they'll start to mate. They'll get ready to reproduce, and then basically in the first year, the cygnets, which is what a baby swan is called, the cygnets will start to disperse and fly away. Yeah.
Tell us about the breed of swans we have behind us.
So these are mute swans. They're one of the largest, heaviest, one of the heaviest flying birds in the world. They can be about 12 kilos.
They're pretty heavy, like.
Pretty heavy.
The power they need to get up.
Very powerful,
flying,
very
right?
strong. When you see them taking off here and you see 5 or 6 of them going, there's a lot of power in them. They're a beautiful, majestic bird. People love them. They're obviously featured in Irish mythology a lot, like with the Children of Lear and things. So these are mute swans. Odette here, that I prepared earlier, this is actually a hooper swan, which we also have in Ireland, but you can tell the difference between the two. The colour of the beak is reversed, basically. So on the mute swans, the orange or the yellow is down at the bottom and the black at the top, and on a hooper, it's swapped around. That's the easiest way to tell them.
How can you distinguish between male and female swans?
So you can't see it here, but the mute swan has quite a big bulge here on top of the beak, and essentially the bigger bulges are for males, and they tend to be a bit bigger as well.
Do they mate for life? Denise Sullivan asked that question on Instagram earlier on.
Yes, so they do mate for life. They've a divorce rate of about 3%.
So it's quite low, right?
Much lower than humans. So they couple up and they mate for life, and they get better at mating. They're each clutch, and a clutch is what we call like each nest full of eggs. So each clutch gets more successful. So they become better and better parents as time goes by.
Let's get into swan injuries now, and you do get a lot of injured swans here. Either they're mained by the traffic, humans, they get caught in the wires. Quite a difficult job in terms of the rescue.
Yeah, they are. Swans are big birds. They tend to be on water. They can fly, so they can be injured, and they might be hard to capture. So that's where Kildare Wildlife Rescue comes in. We've a volunteer network that come together. If there's a case that needs a rescue, we'll go ahead and we rescue the swan, and I can demonstrate
just do a demo. So how would you actually wrap a swan then?
Yeah, so the first thing, gloves on anytime we're going to be handling wildlife, and then we have this, it's called a swan wrap, and basically the swan goes into it, and then we just Velcro it up. There's a bit of seaweed on it there, and we make sure that the wings and the tail and the legs are all in there, held in place nicely.
And Pierce, would they be hard to capture, especially because they're obviously wild birds, right?
Yeah, they are hard to capture. It depends on the injury. Sometimes we'll be seeing them when they're really on death's door, or they're badly entangled or badly injured. But they can move, they can run faster than people, they can fly, they can jump onto the water. So it can be quite risky to capture them. It's very important that only trained wildlife first responders do try and catch them. And that's the message we're always trying to get out there, which is if you see any wildlife that needs help, get in touch with Kildare Wildlife Rescue first.
Obviously, this is a sanctuary here itself. Dogs a big issue as well. Dogs off their leads.
Yeah, I mean, you saw it this morning when we were getting ready to feed a woman their dog. You know, and people come down with the best
and scattered the whole swan, the whole flock of them.
The whole flock
of them.
Yeah. And luckily, there was no injuries, but we do get fairly catastrophic injuries. A dog gets a hold of a bird's wing or the bird's neck, and I mean that can be put to sleep case.
People, if they're feeding swans, what should they feed them?
So they should feed natural foods, no processed foods like bread. That's best to avoid that. So grains, wheat, chopped up lettuce or cabbage, chopped up grapes. They love all that kind of stuff, but nothing processed. No bread, and definitely not mouldy bread.
A huge amount of volunteers involved in your operation as well.
Yeah, Kildare Wildlife Rescue's got over 100 volunteers, and just down here in Bray, there's this really close group, really dedicated people. Like literally the middle of the night, if something happens to these swans, they come straight down to take care of them. Marcia and Etna and her team, they're really, really great people.
And all your fundraising as well, tough to keep it all going really in terms of the food and everything.
That's what matters, yeah. Like you see how much food they eat on a daily basis here. That's just here. Kildare Wildlife Rescue can have as many as 500 animals in care at any one time. So, well, at peak times. So that's a big, big food bill, a lot of hungry animals.
All right, well, we've got all our family here behind us, and you've got your own two little nieces here. Come down to me, girls. Who have we got, Piers?
So this is Baby and this is Shifra.
Yeah, good morning, girls. How are you?
This is good.
Good. Are you excited? What are you feeding the swans this morning?
Lettuce.
Lettuce and seeds. There we go. So
And cabbage.
and cabbage as well. So you go around there and feed the birds. Where can we find out more online?
kwr.ie is the place to find
Okay,
more
and a big shout out to your mum and your girlfriend Laura
Thanks,
tuned in
Maureen.
here
Thanks,
this morning.
Maureen.
Go down here and feed the swans. Off you go. We made it through the show, guys. Off you go, feed the swans. Back to you in the studio. Would you look at there we go.
Made it through.
Beautiful.
Well done to everybody down
You
in
have
Bray
been
this morning.
swans. You know, you look so elegant today, but underneath you're just
Oh,
get
yes,
through the show.
as
Just get through the show.
The brain
Just like,
isn't
are we
quite
allowed
working.
to sit down now?
I know.
We're allowed
Put
to
your
go.
feet up.